You're probably wondering why I'm holding Mia. I'm Dianea Kohl, and I hardly know Mia, but Mia is always herself. And that's one of the things we love about babies. They do whatever they feel. And we love to look at them and giggle with them and see their openness. I'm here to talk about how we want to get back to that beautiful innocence in all of us, the place that we always love. That has been taken away from us, as you know, by shaming our tears. We've been told not to cry, not to be angry, even sometimes not to be scared. Thankfully, we have moved beyond some of the myths like sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Or what you don't know won't hurt you. But we still have the myth and the shame around crying. In my journey, I was brought up in a very religious family, and I was told what to think and what to feel. But in my 10-year-old heart, I could hear a voice saying that's not true. And I had to start listening to myself, but it took many years for me to do that. I'm a marriage and family therapist now for over 25 years and had the privilege of not only doing my own journey, but also those of many clients. The truth of my tears came out with my fourth husband. And I used to be embarrassed to admit that, but now I'm a little bit proud, actually, because it took me to a place inside of myself that I didn't even know existed, and opened me up to a new place of knowing myself in a truly loving way. I became a stomping toddler. Yes, a stomping toddler and a crying baby. And being a therapist at that point in my life, I had a little bit of an inkling about where that was coming from. In fact, in one day, it just came to me when I was yelling at my husband, I'm yelling at my mother. I became grief, and that has been the greatest gift I've ever known, really, in my life. And the fact that I even get tearful at this very moment tells me the truth of that statement. Tears are the only bodily function that we repress. And you know, if you think about it, if we repress sweating, urinating, any other bodily function, we would eventually die. And because we repress crying, we die emotionally. Our hearts close up. And as we all well know, many, many people are very, very angry, and we have many wars and domestic violence in our present life. In the early 90s, when this all happened to me and I really was brokenhearted, I did a lot of work. I actually closed my therapy practice down for a year and did a lot of work out in California at the Primal Center. And I came back with a new vigor in my practice. And as a marriage and family therapist, I use the deep feeling work as a basis for helping my clients. And I'm really happy to say that almost every one of my clients who comes in and is on medication actually gets off. This may surprise people, but the people who I've worked with actually intuitively knew that it was about their feelings and that they weren't able to express them. I tell my clients that, and anybody who will listen, that rage is the surfboard into the ocean of tears, because many people come in being very, very angry and they can't necessarily access their tears. And so I give them a lot of room in my practice to feel their rage and anger, which I know is kind of scary for many people. But because I've done my own work, I am very comfortable with that. And actually what happens is that in my own process, I have actually gotten over my anger. I am no longer triggered into anger, which is pretty much an amazing thing still for me. It's not that I'm finished, because I do get annoyed, but when I get annoyed, I ask myself, what am I hurt about? And I go to the hurt, and I usually have tears about it, and I let them go, and I open my heart again to a little more room for love. During these past 2 decades, I have actually noticed that our language is connected to our hearts, as well as nature in itself, our environment. It was maybe 15 years ago that I noticed in the word evolution that if you look at it in the mirror backwards, the first 4 letters, yes, spell love. Then a couple years later, I noticed in the same mirror that evolution is a sentence. know it, you love. So the whole purpose of evolution is to know it, that you can love. And this is very exciting to me. As you can tell, I'm actually having a little chills down my back. That our purpose here is to learn how to truly and deeply love and have less and less anger, which is really a defense over our vulnerable being of not being able to cry and have those feelings that we were allowed as children until our parents told us not to. And I've had wonderful quotes from my clients during their sessions, and one of them came from a woman recently who told me about a phone conversation with the father of her child. And she said to him, "I'm angry, I'll have to call you back with my feelings." I thought that was so awesome because she knew intuitively, even though it was off the cuff said, that her real feelings were underneath her anger. Many clients have said a variation of, "I know I'm a good person, but I don't feel like I am." Which is very sad because I did that for a long time myself. And I think most of us have. And so what I do is I help people feel their feelings so they get connected to that child inside of themselves. And then that heals them. I've been extremely persistent in allowing my tears to flow. Extremely persistent because my spirit wants to feel worthy of love. I used to play a song on the piano called "I Am Not Worthy," which came out of my church upbringing. And now I do really feel worthy of love. And I want to pass that on to whoever will listen to me. I am happy that I cry at certain music, at commercials, at something that just happens to be thought in a book that I'm reading. Because every time I cry, my heart opens another crack so that there's more love to enter in. I suggest that you get a childhood photo of yourself under age 5 and put it up where you can't miss it. And you speak to that child every day, look into his or her eyes and tell her, "I love you." Thank you very much.